President Trump, are you ready to go to jail? President Trump! President Trump! Get out, you stupid bitch!
That was BBC journalist Sophie Alexander finding out just how conservatives view free speech. You know, they love free speech. The freest of the free speech. Ah, yes. Now, this happened at the Versailles restaurant in Miami, Florida, where Trump visited following his arraignments on 37 counts basically related to the improper handling of classified materials. 31 counts are related to the Espionage Act. So, yeah. Now, Trump was expected to be interviewed by social media influencer Miami-Dade County mayoral candidate Alex Ataloa on YouTube, according to the Miami Herald. Now, after this trolling, Alexander took to social media to announce that I was just thrown out of the Versailles Bakery in Miami for asking President Trump if he was ready to go to jail. A man, and you saw that on the video, screamed, "Stupid bitch," in my face, while others said I was a traitor. And again, you saw that absolutely happen on video. Hey, right wing, what's wrong? Do you not like her free speech? Do you not like difficult questions? I mean, a little bit of a difficult question, I guess. Not a very popular one. Now, here's the thing. Did she ask that question to get a rise out of people? I think so. And that's what makes it great and glorious. You know, she went in there, no fear, and said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Hey, Trump, you ready to go to jail? Lock him up. But hey, look, is there a legit question? Is that a legit question? Well, look, he's facing 31 counts of violating the Espionage Act. That's kind of a big deal over these documents, many of which were national security related, including a purported plan to invade Iran. Yeah, so those are things the government takes very seriously. In fact, I do remember one former president taking it so seriously that he basically made the transport of classified materials without authorization a felony. Oh, who was that? Who was that? Oh, right, I know who it was. Donald Trump. Because of course, right? Jeez. It's good. Okay, but anyway.
Can't let that happen.
Moving on. So now Trump had signed legislation back in 2018 that extended Section 702 of the FISA Amendments Act, part of which included change to 18 U.S. Code 1924, increasing the penalty for unauthorized removal and retention of classified documents or material from 1 to 5 years. So, yes, that's removal and retention. Hey, that sounds kind of familiar to what he just did. Huh. According to Cornell Law School's Legal Information Institute, this upgrades the offense from a misdemeanor to a Class E felony. Now, that said, it's not necessarily the largest charge former President Donald Trump is facing, but let me just point out how it's super ironic. Only Trump can get busted and charged with his own law.
They say, that's amazing. How did you do that?
How did you do that? Well, it's called being stupid. That's what it is. But now, that said, do I believe that President Trump, that they will actually put a former U.S. president in prison? Well, that's the question, right? For me, I'm going to take the cautious approach and say, I'll believe it when I see it. This has never happened. And look, maybe my skepticism has something to do with, I don't know, the fact that over the last few years, there have been 2 impeachments, multiple investigations. A lot of which didn't amount to anything for Trump himself. However, people around him, he's been described as a black hole, sucking down everyone else around him, and he's pretty much correct. That said, maybe. The reason that I'm always skeptical is, look, Trump is a person that wields considerable influence and power, especially, again, as a former president and current candidate. And generally how the United States works is people in power can crime, and they tend to get away with it. That said, we're in such uncharted waters now. In this case, again, a president being charged with the Espionage Act. I think there's a level of fear in the corridors of power in going forwards with such charges. And since that's the case, they are pushing forward with charges. Either Jack Smith's got a giant set of balls on him and is just totally going for it, right?
Testicles.
Or he's got a hell of a case. I mean, that said, even if there is a conviction, there is still a question here is, I'm wondering if still he would end up going to prison. And that's the question that I am not capable of answering. Because again, everything in me says this is not how it usually works. And so is Donald Trump going to be the first former U.S. president to actually end up going to prison? I mean, I don't know. Huge question. Huge question. Okay. Now, does that mean I don't think he should go? No, I think he should. If he did this crime that anybody else would get thrown in prison for, absolutely. We should have an equal application of the law. What I'm trying to say is that in the United States, we don't see that. We don't see that equal application. There seems to be two different sets of laws, a two-tier justice system, if you will, but not in the way that Trump describes it. They always target conservative. No, they don't. In the way the United States has traditionally worked, it has always been a two-tier justice system against the poor, specifically poor minorities and vulnerable groups of people versus rich, affluent, mainly white people. So let's be fair. That said, getting back to the fun here, the trolling. She was definitely trolling. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I don't think the reaction here is, unexpected. I think we do expect that reaction from MAGA, since they seem to be having a little bit of a difficult time as of late. Things are tough in MAGA land. I'm just saying. That said, I do have one word of warning. As entertaining as this is to watch, and obviously how brave this journalist is, Sophie Alexander, I just got to be cautioned. You got to be careful. Maybe she, since she's a BBC reporter, might not know how armed America is, especially on the right, and how some of them are pretty dangerous people. You'll get the weirdos like Jacob Chansley's, I'm protecting the muffins. And then the pighead guy, weird, but ultimately, in my mind, fairly harmless. But then you get the dangerous people, the unhinged people who are possibly violent and very likely armed. So again, just be careful is all I'm trying to say.